one mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Yes, sir. Welcome back from the weekend. Welcome into the One Mic with Big Mike show here on Spreaker, the Spreaker app. Tune in, and of course, the website, onemicwithbigmike.com. We're going to get right into it today, man, because not a lot to talk about. So I ain't going to be here all night. Promise you that. I'm going to get it out. Get it in, get it out. Enjoy the rest of my evening. As far as today's show goes, no guest tonight. I'm going to also make sure we close out Black History Month. Yeah, today's going to be my last show of Black History Month. I've done nothing. I've done no special goofy, promo or any of those type of things for Black History Month. Because I'm black, and every month I find a way to show homage to the people that came before me. I don't need somebody telling me, here's your 28 days, enjoy it. Because after this, you go back to knowing all about us. How we came, stole, and robbed. Named the country, named a holiday after a dude who didn't even discover the country. That's weird. So anyway, bottom of the hour, instead of doing a guest, we'll take a look back into the annals of sports. We'll do my daily feature on this day. As far as the conversational things we got to talk about today, we got to talk about all this beef that's been going on here in the world. A lot of black folks got beef with each other. Black women, black men, tall black men, you know what I mean? The Oscars went down yesterday. Didn't see a damn second of it. But like I do always with all award shows, I just watch them via social media. Like the next day, I get on, open up my phone. Open up like it's a flip phone. No, it's not. I just, open up the app and check out and see what the hell's been going on all weekend. Or with the award show, I should say. And it seemed to suck, the entire thing. Apparently, they felt like they were making up for last year's hashtag Oscars So White. So a bunch of bros and a bunch of the sisters, a bunch of minorities walked away with awards. So shout out to them for that. That's good. I never understand the need for validation in your job, because that's the way I kind of look at this. Like, you got a job to do, B. You're doing your job. You're doing your thing with your movie career or whatever. What you need validation for? What you need an NAACP award or Oscar, any of those type of things for? Other than the fact that I understand that it does allow them to add more money to the price. Once you can put like Oscar award winning actress Viola Davis in front of your situation, it don't make her a better actress. It just drives her price up. So it ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Like, I have no reason to watch the Oscars. I have no reason to trust anyone in telling me what's good to them. I'll make the determination for myself. I'll watch the damn movie, and if it's good, it's good. If the person in the movie is somebody who I want to see act like Denzel. Like, you don't lose with Denzel. Denzel, I'm not saying that every movie he's done has been good, but like on average, you go check out a Denzel flick, you getting your man on. So we'll talk about that in a minute. My man Reggie, who's helping me out with the show, he texted me the other day while I'm riding down the street. A story about a transgender high school wrestler that is caught the ire of grown people. And I want to definitely talk about that as well. You guys know that's one of the subjects, especially when it comes to kids, man. And it's something that I pay attention to when things come on TV about the world that transgender kids live in. And I advise, before I go any further, I want to just kind of advise people to not immediately, lean on your own understanding when it comes to someone being different than you. Like, don't be afraid to find out more about their situation. Find out what are some factual things about what people who are in other circumstances than yourself are going through, instead of leaning back on those old antiquated notions of, they're all perverts and they're all pedophiles and sexual offenders. And come on, man, miss me with all that. And at some point, man, you got to start looking at people as people, regardless of what they were born as, what they chose to be, whatever you feel like the situation is. At some point, you just got to be like, all right, man, that person is a person just like I am. And then from there on, you can determine if that person's a D-bag, well, okay, you can treat that person black, white, transgender, gay, straight, whatever. But cool people are cool people is what I mean. I'll be 40 years old next month. And life has shown me, what maturity means. And maturity means to kind of like put aside some of the dumb things that you once thought were. And gain an understanding of the world around you. And so many people now, I find, just refuse to do that. They lean on certain things like religion, books that have been written 2,000 years ago, even with politics, man. The founding fathers said, well, they also owned slaves. So their judgment wasn't the best on everything. You know what I mean? Founding fathers. Get the hell out of here. Also, speaking of nut jobs, people who continue to be stupid about things, I'll talk about Baylor. You guys know my thoughts on the whole Baylor situation. They got this crazy cultish. It's like college football in general. A lot of times, big time college sports, it's already kind of cultish. But this is like real, like drink the Kool-Aid type cultish type stuff that's going on down there in Baylor. So I'll talk about that in here in just a second. Don't forget also, I got my poll questions up on my Twitter page at One Mike with Big Mike on Twitter. Hashtag, put it on the poll, POLL poll. Not the ones that they have at the adult establishments. Today, the weather's crazy too, man. It's like real nice. And then it got like hella cold last night. And now it's messing with my sinus situation and everything. It's just weird. So anyway, hashtag put it on the poll is brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com. I got a couple up already for you guys. Did last year's hashtag Oscars So White movement make a difference? So far, 100% of people are saying no. I love my people, man. If you were JaVale McGee, because we'll talk about this in a second as well. I want to start off with the Oscars and then move on to the rest of this craziness. If you were JaVale McGee, if you know about the JaVale McGee, Shaquille O'Neal little beef, is what you want to, if that's what you want to call it. I asked, would you have been able to endure the roasting that he was taking over the last couple of years, as long as he did? And 100% of the people so far are saying no. Make sure you go to One Mike with Big Mike on Twitter. Just put in hashtag, put it on the poll. You can find all my poll questions there. And last week's, the ones we left off with last week, should batters really have to run the bases after they hit a home run? 50% said yes, 17% said no, and 33% don't even give a damn. And that's it. All right, so let's start with the Oscars, ladies and gentlemen. What up, Big L? Big L's in the chat room, by the way. If you guys want to join the conversation, you can do so in a variety of ways. One, by texting me at 404-902-8104. You can also leave comments below my live streaming video that's going on right now on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/1MIC, WITHBIG MIKE, and boom, I'm right there looking dead at you, me, my ugly mug. Got my Sports Kings shirt on, you know what I mean, representing Sports Kings for life, you know what I mean. Or you can jump on in this live interactive chat room like Big L has done. You must be listening to the show via Spreaker, though, or on my website, onemikewithbigmike.com. You'll see a little thought bubble icon sitting on the streaming player. Just click on it. It'll get you up inside the live interactive chat room. Don't make me come for you. Don't make him come for me like Remy did Nikki. We're going to talk about that too, man, because that's one of those weird things that, for whatever reason, it's a part of our culture as black people, that the things that we celebrate, it almost feels like we shouldn't. I didn't hear the record till yesterday. The Remy Ma diss record, I didn't hear it till yesterday. I was riding the street and I said, all right, let me pull this up on the phone and see what's popping. And, it fits the mold. It is what it is. It's a diss record. It's what we know it to be. It's hit 'em up. It's, you know what I mean? It's ether. It's all these things, man. It's the formula. You know what I mean? You put a bunch of personal stuff about a person on a record and then wait for people to be like, ooh, yeah, bodied, and all that kind of stuff. So it's weird, but, you guys have the right to be weirdos, I guess. So the Oscars last night. Shout out to all the winners, especially the the African American winners as opposed to last year getting, shut out in all the major categories. Everybody knows about the flub at the end. My man, Warren Beatty, that's his name, and whoever the other chick was. Apparently, somebody set them dudes up and gave my man the wrong card. So he didn't know who won what was, I guess, supposed to be the biggest award of the night, Best Picture. And they told everyone that La La Land had won it. And in true hashtag Oscars so white fashion, just assumed that, this has got to be right. The white movie won. No, Moonlight won. And then it was this big ordeal on the stage, and Jimmy Kimmel had to come back out there, some dude who no one knows who he is, but I guess he's someone important because he's the guy who's like, no, it's not a joke. Come on up here. Come get your trophy from this dude. And my man was like slick trying to walk off the stage with the trophy and not give it back. And at the end of the day, like I said, who cares? Who cares? I haven't seen Moonlight yet. I think I will partake in it at some point, but I have not seen it yet. And and shout out to my man too, because I didn't know his name. I still don't know it, but my man who plays Remy, he won the for Best Supporting Actor, the black dude. From where is he from? He's from somewhere too. He's Muslim and I think he's from another country, but he's like the first Muslim actor to win an award, to win one of the big awards, I guess I should say. But I didn't know his name. When I was talking about these names on Friday, I said it, but I didn't realize it was a guy, Oh, good question. Big L's asking me, Big L's in my chat room right now. He's asking me who watches the Oscars. Well, dude, apparently fewer and fewer people are watching the Oscars. The ratings were down from last year's overnight ratings, from a 22.4 to from a 23.4 to this year's 22.4. Last year's Oscars was already the low mark. That's fun. That's kind of crazy though. That last year was the low mark because even people like me tuned in. I tuned in for a minute to see if Chris Rock was going to come with that ish at the beginning. Didn't watch a second after that, but whatever. And then 2008 was the absolute low at 21.9. So less and less people are watching these kind of crazy things because, again, who cares? You know what I mean? If a movie's good, if somebody's a good actor, like you'll see the return at the box office, right? You don't need to get paid millions of dollars and then have people fawning all over you, and then people be like, Meryl Streep. Or what's my girl's name? Not Octavia. Viola Davis. Powerful speech. Let me tell you something, dude. I don't trust none of them. Nah, one of them. Because what you're dealing with the best of the best actors. Which means they can fool you at any point. And act like they being sincere. I'm not saying Viola wasn't sincere. That kid the other week, Jesse Williams or Meryl Streep. And these people ain't sincere. But it's kind of hard. You know what I mean? I don't really get caught up in speeches a lot of times because I know where you guys are at and I know where I'm at. So when you try to be relatable to me on a certain level that, you understand my day-to-day grind, I got to kind of call BS. You know what I mean? I just kind of got to be like, yeah, I don't think you do. It's cool that you want to use this platform and bash Agent Orange or whatever. That's cool because it's going to be funny to me. But I'm not going to get all charged up. Like Jesse Williams ain't going to get me charged up talking about black people's magic. The same way that, a couple hundred years ago when these white folks was calling black folks, my magic nigga. My magical nigga. Yeah, it's the same thing. There's no difference to me. Magic doesn't exist. It's only a way of stripping away my actual talent by just calling it magic. Like someone could just be like abracadabra, and then I can run a 4-3 now. Nah, kind of takes work. You know what I mean? It kind of takes a little bit of effort. But I did have the winners here. Some of the winners I mentioned earlier. Viola Davis knocked it out. She's the first black woman. Black history. Hashtag Black History. She's the first black woman to have an Oscar, a Tony, and what's the other one? An Emmy. She's the first one to have that. Reggie, what up, homie? My man Reggie's in the chat room as well, hanging out with Big L right now. You guys can join him if you like. Just click on that little thought bubble icon you see on my streaming player if you're listening via Spreaker. Or, of course, the website, onemicwithbigmike.com. Also, you guys, make sure you click that little heart icon as well and the share button so that you're able to share the show with all your friends and expose them to some of this ridiculousness as well. What else do we have here? Moonlight won for Best Picture. Like I said, I hadn't seen it. Viola Davis, we already mentioned her, but she got the Best Supporting Actress for Fences, a movie in which she was a prisoner in her own home. Her husband, Denzel Washington, was a major a-hole and someone that many of us can relate to. Like, if it wasn't your family, you knew the family in the neighborhood whose daddy had another family like down the street. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like across town. It was like, yeah, right up there, me and her. You know, I'll be messing with the old girl up there. And, you know, somebody's daddy had, you know, 2 houses. So she took home the award for that. Played the movie itself was awesome. Denzel bossed it. He totally ripped it. This is his name. God dang. Mahershala Ali. That's your man. That's Remy. Remy from, if you guys look at House of Cards, Remy, then pulled him down to Oscar. Of course, they're going to get him way more speaking parts on House of Cards now. He got a damn Oscar. Let's go. Shout out to Ezra Edelman and Caroline Waterflow. Is it Waterlow? Sorry. OJ, Made in America, got an Oscar as well for the best documentary. That's pretty big, man, because that documentary was everything you thought it wasn't going to be. It wasn't just a retrial, a retrying of the case. You know what I mean? With OJ, it went into a lot of different places, man. And it 8 hours or whatever. I think it's going to be on ESPN every day next week or this week. I don't know. I heard some mumblings about that while I was, you know, I keep my TV on for like white noise in the background, so things just kind of seep into my subconscious. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, TuneIn, and of course, onemicwithbigmike.com, the website. Text the show at 404-902-8104, or you can leave your comments and questions or whatever below my live streaming video that's going on right now on Facebook. One Mic with Big Mike is my Facebook page. Now, you talk about who's watching the Oscars. Well, and if I asked the question on Facebook whether or not the whole hashtag Oscars so white thing made a difference. Here's the thing. Like, the lady who runs the Oscars is actually a black woman, and she kind of cleaned house and brought in a whole bunch of a much more diverse group of voters. So that's the other thing that probably played into this as well. You know what movie didn't get a look? That's crazy to me. I just thought about it. Nate Parker's movie. What was it called? The Nat Turner Situation. I hadn't heard anybody say anything about that since it kind of flopped in the box office. Didn't do a lot of money, but people said that wasn't gonna matter. Guess it did. I guess you can't just put out a movie where like a slave goes crazy and starts killing white people, women, and babies, and everybody. You can't really do that and expect the same people to give you an award for it. Shout out to Nate Park. I still haven't seen it though. I hope to see it here pretty soon once it comes on like HBO or whatever, on demand or whatever. I talked about the diversity of this year coming off of the Oscar so white type situation. Until this year, the most diverse winners group was at the 2009 Academy Awards, where 3 black stars won. Until this year, that was the most. Like, yep, we gave y'all 3. Be happy. They had the diversity report was released. It showed that Hollywood has gotten better, but people of color, since even though they made gains to their white counterparts in front of the camera, a lot of the jobs are being lost behind the camera. A lot of those writers, I think those are the most important people, to be honest with you. Shout out to homie from Key and Peele as well. I heard his movie was pretty dope. I talked about it on Friday. The horror movie that's got like a bunch of racism in it. It's like a perfect mixture of like something that we as black people can relate to. It's like, it's already horrible, but now you put like a killer in it, and we can definitely relate to that story. And another movie I haven't seen yet, but maybe. So yeah, that was the Oscars to me in a nutshell. I hadn't seen a lot of the movies. La La Land I saw the movie with Casey Affleck. I don't know if he won anything, but that movie was kind of dope. Shawty killed his kids on accident, left a fire burning in the crib and burnt the crib down and burnt his babies up, and it just ruined his whole life as you would assume it would. Let's see what's going on here in the chat room. He played what? I haven't seen Luke Cage. He played a dude named Cottonmouth. God dang. Is this Luke Cage situation? Because my man Calloway said he loves it. Is it one of those like black exploitation situations that I'm just not hip to right now? Because every time I see it on Netflix, I move on to something else because I don't have a lot of time, and I feel like it's one of those things based on what everybody's saying that if you start watching it, it's like The Wire. You know what I mean? You like want to keep watching episode after episode after episode, and the next thing you know, like 6 hours is going past, and you ain't done nothing with your life. I can't afford to do that right now. So are they giving more black awards to blacks to shut us up, or do they feel that black folks are suddenly great actors? See, that's the thing. See, I'm glad Reggie brought that up, because I was thinking about that earlier. It's like, it seems like overkill a little bit. Like, it seems like last year black folks didn't get nothing, and then this year it's like, oh, we gotta find a way to just give all the black folks we possibly can, to the point where even Warren Beatty is confused at the end. Like, of course, La La Land. No, Moonlight. And my man was real serious. The dude that came out with the real envelope was like, no, come up here now. We've got to let people know that we're inclusive now. I don't know. I don't know what it means, man. You know what I mean? Because the characters ain't the same. You know what I mean? Like, you start talking about, I guess Taraji P got iced out or whatever for the role in Hidden Figures, which a movie that I did see. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as everyone else enjoyed it. I felt like there were things that probably should have been said within the movie that weren't, and you could tell. Maybe because beforehand, I'm going to keep it real, because beforehand I already knew that a white man directed it. You know what I mean? And then when I found out the real story about, the Kevin Costner character, like, he wasn't the one who was like, that rode in on his white horse to save all the Negro women from having to walk a mile and a half to the bathroom every day. Yeah, that lady was like, that never happened. Yeah. I need to go to the bathroom, and I went, and I dared him to say something to me. Like, she was a badass. And to, like, transfer her power to the white man for the sake of the movie, that's kind of whack to me. And it makes me question a lot of the other things that I saw in the movie, man. And it made hella loot, though. It out-earned La La Land by a gang. It grossed almost $153 million. More money than, of course, La La Land did in the U.S., so yeah, holler at them for that. But the movies are still the same. I think that's why people freaked out so much about that Luke Cage situation, because you don't get to see it a lot. Just a regular movie that could have easily been a black dude or a white dude, but it's casting a black dude in it. And it's not some weird, like, historical slave thing or civil rights type situation, or like in the Denzel movie, some downtrodden, bitter black man, his story, so white people can see, man, what a character. No, it's not a character. If that's not your dad, you know that dad from the neighborhood. You know him. We do, but it's one of those things where there has to be an extra effort made. You know what I mean? To introduce white people to art. That's black people's recent history too. They ain't even like the history of black people. That's like, 1965. You know what I mean? 60. It's just weird. This whole, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Having the Oscars. I'll be all right. You know what I mean? Without all these award shows. I mean, music, Chance the Rapper's dope. I didn't need whoever the Grammys to tell me that. He's a dope MC. So outside of that, whatever. Speaking of dope MCs, yeah, I got time to get into this before I move on here. So over the weekend, there was a rap beef. Actually, there were two, from what I understand. Right? It was Yo Gotti and Young Dro from here in ATL had something going on about some woman or something. I don't know. Whatever. It's kind of whack to me, to be honest with you, because it doesn't mean anything. I don't think it ever meant anything, but there was a time and place for this type of thing. And then Tupac and Biggie got shot, and then people was like, all right, calm down. These folks out here in these streets taking it way more seriously than we are. And then now that kind of died off, it came back. You got the back-to-back situation. Who was the kid a couple of years ago? Was it the kid from that did like the diss record to the whole industry? Talking about he do records with people who think they his friends, but they still weak. Who did that a couple of years ago? Maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. So that came and went real quick. But this past weekend, like Remy Ma, fresh out the bank too. Not fresh. She's been out for a minute now, but trying to resurrect her career, which I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even understand. Like, I think Remy Ma is a big deal today, or was a big deal yesterday, because this is probably over with today. by now. It was a big deal yesterday because of who she kind of went after. She went after Nicki Minaj in this record called Sheether. And I was like, all right, cool. I woke up, saw this stuff on my timeline. I'm like, what the hell is going on? These brides get into a fight somewhere? No. Shawty's coming after Nicki for a 10-year beef, like something that Nicki Minaj said 10 years ago when she was trying to, get on. She did a freestyle, mentioned Remy Ma in it, and then here these years later where, Remy Ma's probably looking at Nicki Minaj like, look at what she's got. I want to attach myself to that. What's the best way to do it? 7 minutes of lyrical heat and get the internet all abuzz. Oh, Nicki's got to come back. Well, I mean, smart people started getting it by the end of the day, though. They started talking about people's net worth. Because in the record, Remy Ma kind of goes down this whole, like, let me show you how much or how equivalent we are to one another, how equal we are to one another. And she talks about how Nicki's money got to go through Cash Money and then Young Money and then somebody else before it get to her. But Remy Ma is independent, so it takes her. I'm paraphrasing. Like Nicki Minaj got to sell for every 10 she sell, Remy Ma only got to sell 1. But when you look at the hard numbers, it looks like she's worth like $500,000, and that's not a little bit of money, but stacked up against Nicki, it's like 70 million. 70 million is what her estimated worth is. So regardless of how many people the money got to go through, a lot of it's getting to her. You know what I mean? So this whole notion that she's got to clap back, I don't really think so. This is not really like when somebody's shooting up at you. You can kind of ignore it a little bit better. You know what I mean? Because she's threatening putting out a sex tape or something with Nicki doing cocaine or whatever. Like, I don't really care if she's doing cocaine. I don't care about either one of them, to be honest with you. The surprise to me was people was talking about how Remy Ma got all these albums that flopped. I was like, that's a surprise. I didn't know she had 8 albums. I only remember her from Lean Back. You know what I mean? We walk around the metal detectors. Yeah, I didn't know she had, and I was thinking, okay, she had that one song, Party and BS, but then I thought about it, that wasn't her. That was Rod Digger. So I don't have no inkling on what Remy Ma has done except for Lean Back and All the Way Up. And I think she got a new record now with Fat Joe on it. So, I don't know. I think it was good for a weekend with nothing really going on, but the way Negroes was acting, man, golly. It's like you want this. Like people can't wait for people who are way out of their tax brackets to come for each other. Two black women, as though in hip hop culture that can't exist. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have 2 black women. You can't have Kim and Foxy. It's not a good look. You know what I mean? Like, one got to be better than the other. Like, for males, you know what I'm saying? You can have Jay and J. Cole and Kanye and Chance the Rapper and OT Genesis, and you can have Migos. You can have a bunch of dudes, right? Bunch of dudes, but apparently there can only be one queen, like a beehive. Well, no pun intended. I heard that come out of my mouth after it came out. You get what I'm saying? Though? Like, it can only be one bee, and people get riled up. We got to get them. We got to pit them against each other. Nah, not really. Yeah, I don't know, man. That whole deal is weird to me, and people start talking about they gonna clap somebody. Like, bro, you just got out the Bing. Like, I heard you talking about how terrible it was in there. I mean, you ain't trying to go back. You just talking, and these folks talking about it. Wouldn't even surprise me if Nicki Minaj was like, "What? Who?" Nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's terrible on my part. No, she knows who this woman is, but just, get yours, man. Like, I'm not for that. I'm not really about that life when people try to, shame women. Like, she went and got some titties, and she went and got a butt, and whatever. It's paid off. Like, a lot of these bras around here doing that and still broke. So at the end of the day, at least her investment is bringing back return. A lot of these bras doing this stuff, walking into the plastic surgeon like, give me the Nicki. Matter of fact, give me a double Nicki. They walk around here with asses so huge, you think they're going to tip over every time they get up out of the chair. And still broke. At least, with her situation, with Onika's situation, she's recouped on her investment. Anyway, let's take a break. I'll take a break and I want to come back. I got to do on this day. I want to talk about, before I get out of here, I want to talk about Shaq and JaVale McGee. I want to talk about it in the same kind of sense that I'm talking about this whole thing. Like, all right, when is enough enough? You know what I mean? Like, when is a joke until it's not anymore? Or are people just being too sensitive? We'll do it next. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, tune in, and of course the One Mic with Big Mike.com website. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a damn friend. I'm here, man, 3 times a week. I'll be back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel? Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
Hey. Ray J. Sexy cannot. I don't know about this. Welcome back to the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Here being Spreaker, Spreaker. Make sure you sign up for your free Spreaker accounts and follow the One Mic with Big Mike show. That way you get an alert every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when the show starts at 7 p.m. Also, you can check me out on TuneIn. Reggie, do me a favor, brother. Log on to TuneIn and see if the show is live on TuneIn. Because I'm telling people it is, but I'm not sure 100%. I'm also on the website, onemicwithbigmike.com. And, of course, streaming live video right here on Facebook. Facebook Live is going on strong. onemicwithbigmike.com is my Facebook page. Don't let me forget today, too. I got to tell you guys about something. I talked to Reggie the other day. I got to tell you guys about, what is it? Rape by deception. Yeah, I got to inform you dudes. And girls about this. Well, I don't know, because some of you broads might just try to take it and run with it, and I'll be in cahoots with you in some foolery. But anyway, after I do this, I'll talk about that. After I talk about JaVale McGee and Shaquille O'Neal.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
All right, for the final time in Black History Month, spelled with an F, of course. Hey, man, what's going on here? Yo, Big Mike, it's not about who makes the most money. It's all about the rap, bro. Name the last good rap battle. 50 Cent Ja Rule, Jay versus Nod. Good rap is needed. I'm not a mumble rap fan or a funny joke rap. Yeah, I understand all that, but I don't necessarily know that the Sheetha situation was a good rap. It was just like, you know what I mean? It's like what you do at the lunch table in elementary school or middle school. You just like start banging on for somebody while everybody's laughing and saying, ooh, got him. I don't know. On this day in 1874, baseball first played in England at Lord's Cricket Grounds. On this day in 1890, D. Needham and P. Kerrigan. This can't be true. They boxed for 100 rounds. Fight for 100 rounds. It took 6 hours and 39 minutes in San Francisco. The match ended up in a draw. You'll lie. This would have had to ended in bloodshed. Ain't nobody fight. I'm not fighting nobody. Like 6 minutes, you pushing it then. Like at some point, somebody got to pull out a weapon and end this whole situation. I'm not advocating for anything, but yeah, that's too long for me to be engaged in any type of physical activity with another human being. I mean, any physical activity. On this day in 1901, the U.S. Baseball National League Rules Committee decrees that all foul balls are to count as strikes except after 2 strikes. So that's where that rule came from, 1901. 116 years ago. On this day in 1908, the sacrifice fly rule was adopted by Major League Baseball. It was repealed in 1931, but then reinstated in 1954. On this day in 1927, for the second Sunday in a row, I did this one of these a couple weeks ago. For the second Sunday in a row, golfers in South Carolina are arrested for violating the Sabbath. Psh, boy. If only these people knew, they probably rolling around in their damn graves knowing what's going on today in today's golf game. On this day in 1984, Carl Lewis jumps a world record indoor long jump at 8.675 meters. And finally, on this day in 1992, the great Tiger Woods, 16 years old, became the youngest PGA golfer in 35 years. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your Monday edition, hashtag Black History Month, final day of Black History Month for the show edition of On This Day. You know what's weird? I was thinking about Tiger Woods earlier today. I'll get to this JaVale McGee Shaq thing in just a second. I got a question for you guys and girls. If you're watching here on Facebook, or if you're listening and you're in my chat room, or you want to just hit me up via the text 404-902-8104. I got a question that I've been thinking about for a while. When it comes to black people, right? Like we subscribe. I'm painting with a broad brush, but for the most part, we subscribe to this old antiquated belief that if you've got one drop of black blood in you, then you black, without really knowing why that is or where that comes from. That's another one of those, things that has crumbs that lead back to slavery. When the white master was raping the black housemaid or the black field slave or whatever, and he would impregnate her, well, he couldn't adopt that kid as his own son, although it was his son. The kid may have been treated differently, a slight bit differently to the other slaves, but he was still there to be sold and bought and worked and all these type of things, and raised by the black mother. But before then, that whole dynamic didn't exist. Like mixed children, like you were African or you were European or you were Irish or whatever, Irish or Spaniard from England or wherever. That whole dynamic of mixed children didn't exist. And it was told to us as black people that that's a black baby because he's got one drop of black blood in him, whatever the hell that even means. So I was thinking about Tiger Woods, like now is like done, right? He's done. And the thing that jumped off that doneness, that altercation with the wifey after he had like a bunch of side broads or whatever, from that point on, like Tiger, he saw some good moments. Like I think like 2 years after that, he was like the number one player and he was the player of the year or whatever. But he didn't win no Masters or no, what is it called? Not Masters. What are they called? Majors. He didn't win no majors or nothing like that. And ever since then, his body been failing him. He's been going down. Black folks stopped claiming him. Remember it was like Tiger Woo, my dude, my N-word, but then eventually that faded quickly. And part of why it faded, I remember this lady at the grocery store saw me looking at one of the magazines in line. And one of her point of contention was that when he was asked about being an African American, I guess he said he was Caucasian, right? He was part Caucasian and black and Asian. You know what I mean? And black people looked at it as though he was running a front to them or running a foul to them. And it got me to thinking, like, at what point do you accept someone, I guess, not acknowledging a part of who they are and only one part? Is he not supposed to acknowledge his Asian mom as well as his black dad and I guess his white grandparent? Is he just not supposed to do that like against the law? And then the other question I had, is that something that's exclusive to black people? Like, for example, if a Puerto Rican dude marries, let's say, a Korean woman and they have a baby, what race is the baby? You know what I mean? Because in the terms of America and what slavery has taught black people, and black people continue to carry on with that thought process, we know that a white man and a black woman together equals black baby, right? Or vice versa, right? White woman, or what am I saying? White woman and black man, whatever, equals black baby. But I don't think other races do that, do they? Like, other races don't. Like, if a dude is, like I say, Puerto Rican and then he marries a Korean woman, they don't make a distinction like this baby's Puerto Rican. It's quite acceptable for the baby or for the kid to accept both sides of what has made him or her. But for whatever reason, man, black folks got a problem with this. And, you know, like the other day, Sage Steele said something. What did she say? She said the most racism that she's felt in her life has come from black people. She's a product of a biracial marriage as well. And people was like, she need to go on somewhere with that. And I was like, there's certain things that she said that make me kind of be like, all right, whatever, bride. But I can't tell nobody what their story is. Like, if that's her story, and these are things that have happened to her, and people have told me before, you know, that they've seen like light-skinned people, mixed people catch hell because sometimes you're not black enough to be black, or you're not white enough to be considered white. So you're caught in this kind of no man's land where you kind of catching hell from different groups of people. And depending on what group of people is the most accepting to you, in her case, she's saying that other groups were more accepting to her than black people. And black people get mad like that's not a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing. Oh, sellout, coon, all these words come to mind, especially when that person has curly hair and lighter skin and has two parents that are of white and black descent. It's real easy to like spit those words out immediately, which leads me to this. Which leads me perfectly to the other beef that occurred over the weekend. This is one has been brewing for a while. That's why I put it on the poll question brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com. I asked, like, how long would some of you guys, because there's a different perspective to what I'm about to talk about. Let me tell you what that is. So Shaquille O'Neal, you know Shaq, everyone knows Shaq, right? He plays a bit of a buffoon on TNT a couple nights a week for the Inside the NBA crew. Now, some people may take issue with me saying that, but you tell me. Like, I'll give you like a 12-month span between this season and last season. Like, how many times have you listened or watched that show and said, man, that's really insightful by Shaq? Yeah, I'll wait. Exactly. Like, he's not there for that. He's the dude to do all the crazy tackling people and racing Kenny to the board and tripping up over wires and busting his ass. He's like that dude. He's a buffoon. But in that, of course, he's compensated handsomely, and then he's allowed to also make fun of people in this segment he has called Shaqtin' a Fool. And apparently, I don't see this. I don't really watch Shaquille O'Neal on television. It doesn't really enrich me in any way. But apparently, JaVale McGee has been a constant muse for Shaquille O'Neal's segment, Shaqtin' a Fool. And, you know, JaVale McGee's a quirky dude. He's done some quirky things on the basketball court that are kind of funny. But at some point, you know, people are going to get tired of being the butt of other people's jokes, especially when, like, because I don't understand that part of the game either. Like, at what part of the game do you just move on? You know what I mean? You just kind of understand that it's taking a path from being funny to being like, all right, now you're just being a jerk. You know what I mean? Now you're just being a jerk to this kid. You know what I mean? You're not trying to do these things. And then also not being balanced. Because JaVale McGee, especially this year, has done a lot of good things for that Golden State Warriors team. A team that, if you guys remember at the beginning of the season, where they're going to get a rim protector from? Oh, so JaVale McGee's going to be that guy? Well, JaVale's kind of been that guy. You know, he's been one of those guys. He's played decently this season as someone who fancies himself, you know, as someone who watches the Golden State Warriors every chance I get, because I think they're just hella fun to watch play basketball. Yeah, dude's done well for himself. So he got fed up with it. He got fed up with Shaquille O'Neal being that guy that felt that he needed to continue to just pound on this kid and pound on this kid and pound on this kid. And it culminated in him telling Shaq on Twitter to, quote, get off of his nuts. Oh, no, I'm sorry. To get his nuts out of Shaq's mouth, or for Shaq to get his nuts out of his mouth. And EAD. He wanted him to find nourishment in his penis. Hashtag that is all. And it wasn't all. He went on to say, all right, y'all, I'm done responding. I think, ... I think. And he continues. As I scroll down here. Last thing. This is never the last thing when someone says the last thing. Think about this. He woke up and I was the first thing on his mind when he made that video. That ain't weird to y'all? Well, these tweets are coming at 2:25 a.m., 3:47 a.m., and 3:51 a.m. from JaVale McGee. And another one where he posts like, "Aw shucks," like a meme or a GIF or whatever. Maybe he's in love with me. Maybe I should be flattered. I don't know, guys. This is at 3:53 a.m. This is going on at some prime creeping time at night. But also the other thing that happened, JaVale McGee's teammates came to his defense. One in particular, Kevin Durant. And like people took exception with what Kevin Durant said about Shaquille O'Neal, except me. I've been saying this about Shaquille O'Neal since he was a player for a long time, and I'll let you guys in on what this is. Here's Kevin Durant.
Misperception of him now is that he's a dumb player, or because he makes mistakes out on the court. Shaq is a free throw shooter. He missed dunks. He airball free throws. He can't shoot. He couldn't shoot outside the paint. He's bigger than everybody. He didn't have any skill, but he was big and stronger than everybody. And he's still a great player, but you had your flaws too as a player, and he played on 5 or 6 teams too. So it's not like he's just his perfect, center. You had your flaws too.
He's right. He's absolutely positively right. I've been saying that for years. Like when people start talking about like great basketball players, there are great basketball players, and there are dominant basketball players. When you start talking about guys like Shaquille O'Neal, he was just dominant. He was just big. There was no like true basketball skill. When you talk about dribbling, shooting, passing, those things weren't really in the repertoire. Like at some point he got old and fat and decided he was going to develop a little baby hook. But then he was still bigger than everyone else. And in his younger years, he was like hella fast and quick too. So he's right. Nothing in that statement is fictional. He did miss dunks. He was a terrible free throw. And when he was playing, I said, this is the kind of guy who's going to remind you how good he would have been after his career is over with, if he would have hit free throws. And every time someone passes Shaquille O'Neal on that all-time scoring list, you know what he says? I would have had like 10,000 more shots had I hit my free throws. Well, you're the idiot that when you were playing in the league told people it would be unfair, is what you said. It would be unfair if you could hit free throws. Nah, I don't buy it, B. I don't believe you. You need more people. You just were bad at it. That's a basketball skill. He didn't have a lot of those. This is why when that conversation was brought up, remember, it was time for the group to split up. And somebody had to stay and somebody had to leave, him or Kobe Bryant. And I was like, hell yeah, give me the younger, hungrier, damn near possessive or obsessive compulsive Kobe Bryant, rather than the lazy, let me just rest on my laurels and be big Shaquille O'Neal and try to entertain people. Yeah, any day of the week. Give me that. And now we're finding out these dudes that are stars now, they don't give a damn what you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that doesn't, and I'm all about that life. That doesn't mean because you got these many all-star games, you got this many championships in the league, that it's like, all right, now I can just be disrespectful. Calling cats, these cats are soft. Why can't he just, like Charles Barkley said, why can't he just have a sense of humor about it? That's easy for you to say. You're at the front of the joke, not the butt. You know what I'm saying? This man's trying to be a professional. Now, maybe there is a little bit of that oversensitivity in it. I don't know. Like, I talked to my wife about this, and I don't understand, like, kids these days. Not like moving away from this, how, like, when you turn on your on TV and you see these stories about, like, these kids, like, going after, like, kids with Down syndrome, or, like, they going after kids. Like, one dude he got his ass whooped because he was trying to fight a blind dude, and some other dude saw it and then whooped his ass. Like, what part of the game is that? Like, what could a blind dude do to you to be like, we about to fight? You know what I mean? What could a blind dude do to you? And like that whole thing, like everybody when I was in school, and I know I sound like that guy now, but everybody got a turn. Like one day it might have been your turn. Some people might have gotten a little bit more than other people, but everyone knew it was all in fun and it wasn't going to last forever. Somebody might get into a fight every now and then behind something somebody said to them. But like now, like dudes feel like if they catch a hook, they just linger on it and they like beat people down with things, man. And like that to me, you know, as bad a guy as I am, like that ain't cool. That says more to me. That says more about the lack of creativity that Shaq brings to the table than it does JaVale McGee. I mean, JaVale McGee's trying. He's trying his best. You know, you supposed to be the big time NBA analyst Shaquille O'Neal. Come with something better. You know what I mean? Instead of rolling out the same old act over and over and over again. Like if you ever want, like if there was ever a gig where he had to just sit down and do basketball stuff, who would trust him? Like who trusts Shaquille O'Neal's analysis when it comes to anything but stupidity and buffoonery? Exactly. You know, and I know it sounds like I'm defending JaVale McGee and all this kind of stuff. I'm really not. You know what I mean? It's more about like at some point, man, you can't catch feelings once a dude stands up for himself. You can't be the dude now. You got sensitive. And I'm sure you're wondering what I'm talking about. Here's Shaquille O'Neal's tweets back to JaVale McGee. He goes, like, JaVale McGee goes from being like, yeah, he's weird, or he may be in love with me. It escalates to this immediately. At JaVale McGee 34. Don't be acting like you a G. I'll smack the ish out of you, out of your bum ass. You the one that be looking stupid with your dumb ass. Hashtag bum ass. You see that? You see how the person who's wondering about people being sensitive, there's your sensitivity right there. He went from immediately, he's the dude that immediately like, I want to fight now. Like I've been riding you this whole time. You say one thing back to me, now it's time to fight? My G, come on, B. That's ridiculous. He goes on. Now since you want a good team, you want to act like you're a player. Like you're a player now. Stop it. You will only be remembered for Shaq and the Fool. Hashtag, once again, bum ass. Then JaVale says, oh, we threatening people now. Kick rocks, you old bastard. You ain't gonna do ish. See, and then here's the other part about that. Like a real dude with nothing to lose is gonna call you out. Like, let's ride then. If we on that, let's be on that then. He says, and because you know it's serious when a dude does this, and that's on my mama. Okay, now here's where we gotta stop. We gotta stop. Interrupt the regularly scheduled programming. He says, stick to cooning. Ooh. Yes.
And now it's time for
Oh, I don't know if it's racist or not, but yeah, that's gonna put the brakes on it. Like all these dudes, they don't like. And here's the thing: I'm not the guy, the cooning type dude. I'm not that dude because I don't know where that's come from, and I don't know why that's a thing that a black person says to another black person that's doing something different than they're doing. But I know the implications. I know the reaction, I should say, that it gets from people. And if you know, the definition of cooning is, you know, being a buffoon for the entertainment of white people, maybe that size 22 fits. I don't know. But yeah, so JaVale goes there. Shaq comes back. We're going to see how tough you are when I see your ass. And then he goes on the hashtag bum ass McGee. Hashtag bums act like they players. Hashtag clown ass ballers. Hashtag you need more people. Yeah, see how that got real deep real quickly? Like, how is that a thing? Like, you're the dude you're the protagonist in this. You can't also be the one, if you're Shaq, you can't also be the one to catch feelings. Am I wrong about that? I don't feel like I'm wrong about that. Like, you can't be the one coming for this guy. And then also, be the one who's like, yeah, while we here, since you said something back to me finally, we can fight. Wait, what? JaVale McGee, final one. Actually, not the grand finale. Almost the final one. JaVale McGee says, forget being on a good team. I'm a grown man. You've had these nuts in your mouth for 5 or 6 years now. This is my first time reading these, by the way. They're kind of good. You thought I was just going to stay silent? Yeah. Well, man. You know what I mean? And then finally, Shaq puts up a picture, a Photoshop picture of JaVale McGee's face on a bum sitting on the sidewalk. And yeah, so the way this kind of just wrapped up, it got even weirder to me at this point. Like, these are two grown men, and I've never been a fan of this whole thing where these grown men got their mamas all in the media and, you know, leave my baby alone. Like, rarely do you see somebody's daddy. I mean, for a multitude of reasons, but man, rarely do you see somebody's dad. We'll talk about somebody's dad here coming up in just a second. But rarely do you see somebody's dad. It's like, leave my boy alone. Stop doing this. Nah. It's usually mom, and it's weird as hell. Because now apparently Shaq mama told him to stop messing with the dude, and like Shaq is on some hella petty stuff. You know, like, don't think it's over because of that. I'll never say his name again. Like, JaVale McGee is a player in the National Basketball Association. So there's going to be times where things are going to happen on the court. JaVale McGee is going to be involved in them. You're not going to say his name. You're going to say something. You're going to take it to another probably disrespectful area. And then continue to escalate this ridiculousness that really is senseless. It makes no sense. It doesn't have anything to do with basketball. It's just ridiculous. It's just another one of those things where these old cats that played basketball at one point in their life and played it very well are craving for more relevance. Like, I don't give a damn what no one says. Like, there is a such thing as when the screaming stops. Like, Shaq can be as popular as he can possibly be and making as much money as he can possibly make right now. But the one thing he doesn't get that feeling anymore of walking out of that tunnel, people coming to see Shaq at warm-ups. That doesn't happen anymore. He sit in the studio with a couple of other dudes and do a show a couple of nights a week. It ain't the same feeling. I can guarantee you that. It's not the same thing. So even though you think, man, but there's millions of people watching, they're not tangible. He's looking into a TV camera and talking to Charles dumbass and Kenny and Ernie. Way different. And so that want, the Charles Oakley stuff, all that stuff, I want to be more relevant. I want to be relevant again. Calm down, man. Do the job. You know what I'm saying? Just do the damn gig. And finally, JaVale McGee's mama, who was a baller of her own right, at USC, she's talking like reckless now. She's talking about bullying, like, and now, you know, people start, like, when buzzwords start coming out, coon, bullying, now white people's ears start perking up. Like, wait a minute, is this a Richie Incognito situation? Do we need to say something? A grown man being bullied by another grown man? She brought out cyberbullying too, dude. Nothing grabs my ire more than that term. Cyberbullying. I was born in 1977, B. I've seen real bullying. Not on some stuff where I can log off. I mean, I know people take this stuff seriously, man. There's kids out here killing themselves over this, man. Be a better parent. I'm going to keep it real about that. Be a better parent, man. Like, if your kid feels like today, like 15, 14 years old, today is the most important day of their lives, you got to be a better parent. You got to put some perspective into your children. Seriously, straight up. But anyway, his mom's calling for Shaq's job. She's calling for him to be suspended or something, or punished because he's bullying my baby. God, if I'm JaVale McGee, I'm like, Ma, you got to back up, B. You got to shut up, because I still got to go to work every day. You know what I'm saying? I still got to go to other stadiums every day. You can't be on that. I'm 30 years old. You can't be on, I'm out here getting bullied by Shaq. Come on. Maybe that's their relationship. I don't know, man. I grew up with a dad in my life, and so like the other week when I was talking about this, like these are certain things that come from that, man. You know, I see a lot of times like Draymond's mom and KD's mom. They so out there, and ESPN ain't got no shame in putting these women on TV. You know what I mean? And they talk about these grown men as though they're still like 10-year-olds. I'm not passing no judgment. I'm just saying there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that there is a difference when you grow up 7 years old and somebody telling you the man of the house. Bull. No 7-year-old, no man or nothing. But it happens, and it happens a lot in our community, in the black community, for a lot of different socioeconomic reasons that I don't have time to go into right now. You know what I mean? Pick up a book, Google if you want to know more. Anyway, we're gonna take a break. Get into this second hour. I wasn't planning on being here for 2 hours tonight, man. And maybe I won't be. Maybe this will be the last segment of the show if I can get everything that I want to talk about out. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Spreaker.com, the app, tune in, onemicwithbigmike.com as well. Don't forget the show is available on demand on all those platforms as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the iTunes and all that. And I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms. And your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One Mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One Mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah I Bang Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. At least half of hour number 2, I guess. Here, man, Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, onemicwithbigmike.com is the website as well. You want to get in contact with the show, 404-902-8104 is the number you want to text. That's 404-902-8104. Make sure you check out the hashtag putting on the poll questions brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com. I'll give you guys the results on those in just a second. Just head over to One Mic with Big Mike on Twitter to answer those. Also, make sure you like my Twitter or follow me on Twitter and follow me on IG as well. And like the Facebook page where I'm streaming live video at One Mic with Big Mike, 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. Shout out to Lynn, man. Lynn Greer and April Harris checking in here on Facebook. Got the ladies in the building. What up, ladies? She hadn't heard of Remy Ma either. Like, I heard of Remy Ma. I knew who Remy Ma was, of course. The Lean Back phase was hot. All the way up. It's a hot record, but I didn't know she had records. I didn't know she had, like, albums. Like, when are we gonna retire those words as well? I think that's something that needs to be done, because if you're 20 years old, you don't know what the hell an album is. you don't know what a record is. You calling stuff mixtapes. You would have no idea what a tape was if I showed it to you, what it did. You start calling. You need to figure out your own language. You figure out your own language for everything else. It's probably time to retire, right? I know Reggie, Big L, y'all around my age group. What y'all think? Retire, tape, album, unless you're actually talking about an album. You know what I mean? Record. Like, these things don't even really exist anymore in the world, but yet, these kids Yeah, I'm gonna drop my new mixtape online. Wait, what? That's two things that don't exist together. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I was gonna say something out of the way. Shaq will not say anything about it on. Okay, Big L is talking about JaVale McGee. That Shaq won't say anything about it on TNT. Probably won't because who brought this up? Yeah, Big L also brought up that Golden State. They brought it to the attention of TNT. Because like here's the other thing too. You don't know what people are going through. You know, I know I make like a lot of light about things, and I kind of revert back to the juvenile Mike. And, how we used to, like, people start fighting over stuff, or you just give it to somebody all day long and it just happens to be your day. But, you don't know what people are actually going through. Just because this man is a multimillionaire, he plays professional basketball, doesn't mean that the trials and tribulations that people go through with mental anxiety and things of that nature don't afflict him. And I'm not diagnosing this guy. What I'm saying is that we don't know. We don't know how certain things, are going to affect certain people. And if it's to the point now where my man's feeling like he's trying to turn a corner in his career, after a little bit of a rocky start, and then someone keeps trying to bring him down. His mom made the point that it's a systematic. I don't want to call it systematic. I don't want to say that, but his mom brought up the point of how it's a black man constantly tearing down another black man. Now, in Shaq's defense, though, kind of, it is the NBA, so the amount of white dudes to pick from is kind of slim. Speaking of white men getting picked on, before I move on from this, y'all see this craziness? Dirk Nowitzki, the Bleacher Report, they didn't really break him either. They didn't even really just like get him. He shot an air ball, and they tweeted something like "Dirk Forever" or something like that. And Mark Cuban was probably on some Molly or something. You know what I mean? Because no one just reacts this way. Just gets automatically upset for that, and he goes off on the Bleacher Report. He CCs like Adam Silver, Turner, the people at Turner, because they own the Bleacher Report, talking about how disrespectful it is. They need to take the tweet down. And these jackknives took it down. Whatever, dude. Like, cuz that's that Trump stuff. You know what I mean? That's that, like, I don't like what the media is reporting about something I care about, so they can't report it. You a lie. You telling a damn lie. Like, that's one of those things with me. Like, people trying to tell other people what to say. Yep. That ain't the move, man. Yeah. You gotta keep moving with that whole situation. Don't tell me what to say, man, what I can and cannot say. Especially when it's not something that's vitriolic. It was like, ha. Dirk shot an air ball. So what, man? Bang on. Yeah, you start talking about like stuff that we kind of just throw around. We start talking about like white privilege and all that kind of stuff. Like this, my gosh, like grow up a little bit, B. Like, this whole like thing. Because in case you don't know, they may be like kind of enemies, frenemies, whatever. Now, Mark Cuban and Donald Trump, they were friends for a long time. I even watched Mark Cuban get on the Daily Show, not the Daily Show, the Nightly Show. Larry Wilmore, when that thing was going on, until he called the president an N-word, and white folks was like, we can't have him on our networks any longer. Talking about how when Trump was first running, like, he doesn't mean any of those things. He's not racist. Now all of a sudden, that ain't your man no more. Just saying, man. I understand what birds of the feather are, and who they flock with. Let me think. Do I want to do this Baylor thing now? Or you know what? Let's do this UCLA thing, because I watched some college basketball this weekend for the first time really all year. I watched like maybe 2 other games. I watched Kentucky and Kansas. I watched Kansas beat Kentucky, and I think I watched Duke play somebody as well. Pretty much it for me this year. And so I was like, all right, let's see what this kid Lonzo Ball is about, man. Let me check out this UCLA-Arizona game. Arizona has a kid too on their team. So I was like, all right, should be a pretty good game. I watched it immediately. I kind of went back and forth with it or whatever. The kid, Lonzo Ball, he looks like to be an official basketball player, right? I mean, he's playing against children, obviously. He's also a child. He's a young cat as well. So we'll see. I'm not really I don't really like going into all that, what he's going to be as a pro until he decides to become a pro. You know what I mean? Right now, he's playing college basketball, and college football players are playing football. Same thing. Judge him accordingly. I don't know what's the kid's name? I can't even remember his name now. Not Teddy Bridgewater, the kid that followed Teddy. Lamar Jackson. I don't know what he's going to be as a pro, but I know he's awesome in college. I mean, I'll enjoy watching that. And then when he decides to leave after next year, well, we'll let the assessment begin at that point. So this kid, Lonzo Ball, his dad doesn't share that with me. His dad is what people term as a helicopter parent. He's got two other boys. One is a senior in high school. The other one's a sophomore. You guys heard about him. He scored 92 points in a basketball game, and grown people was losing. I mean, he didn't play no defense. All right, come on, dude. We can't just let the kid have 92 points. You know what I mean? Like, how many of y'all could I put in the gym by yourself and you scored 92 points? Come on, man. Back up. He's a child. He's 15 years old. He can have it. And he dedicated to his homegirl who need a heart surgery. So, I mean, all the feel-good elements are there. So, anyway, he's going to funnel all these kids through UCLA. The first of the bunch, Lonzo, is coming out. And his dad's been real boisterous, man, about his kids. He's doing his Don King situation with these kids, man. Talking about how this boy is better than Steph Curry. Dude, Steph Curry won back-to-back MVPs in the league. You know what I mean? let's not let that be the joke you telling on your kid. You know what I'm saying? Put Steph Curry on UCLA and put my son on Golden State and watch what happened. Yeah. That sounds wild. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. If that's the relationship he got with his kids, by all means, you know what I'm saying? But it feels funky. You know what I mean? That this kid, because we see it every year. Remember, we thought Jahlil Okafor was going to be this NBA prototype center, you know. But then on the other side of that, you had Karl Anthony Towns. You know, both of them came with the same type of expectations. Only one of them fulfilling it. Only one. And that's pretty much the story with the NBA draft. Like, all these kids are going to come out. People are going to call this a strong NBA draft. And then 2/3 of them are going to be D-League, role player type guys. If you're lucky, you get 2/3 of them to do that. And if you're lucky, you get 1/3 of these players to be actual contributors, actual all-star caliber guys in the NBA. So for his dad to already be like on some, like, you know, my son, this other thing he said, my son's got to play for the Lakers. And then people try to, like when I posted the comments, well, he walked that back. Ain't no take backs. You said what you meant. Like, I don't never believe nothing nobody says after the apology. I was mad. Nah, but you was also for real. You meant what you said about my mama. So, all right, let's go. You know, I know where you stand. You know, white boy, you call me the N-word. All right. I know that's the line that we're both standing on opposite sides of. Nah, damn, that dude realized what he was talking about. People say, what? And people always, you know, the race thing has to come into play. Well, no one said anything when Archie Manning did it. Everyone did. Okay. Everyone said something about it when Archie Manning told the Chargers, my son won't play for your team. And the other thing about that is you can do that because in the NFL, you know way in advance who's got that pick. You know what team has that pick. And if in the situation where you're talking about Eli Manning, people knew he was going first as well. And this, from what I understand about this NBA draft that's coming up, no one knows anything. The kids are too close together, and there are no LeBrons or anybody. No, what's the kid's name from last year? Ben Simmonses. There are no Ben Simmonses that are head and shoulders above the rest of the pack in this draft. So yeah, my man can talk about all he wants about where his son is playing, and I believe in the power of thought, and if I say it, it'll come to fruition. Yeah, see, that's that dumb stuff. I'm gonna keep it real. That's that dumb stuff that y'all read in that old book. That, you know, that you can speak things into existence. No. Do some damn work. And if it don't work out in your favor, well, guess what? Those are the breaks. Talking about I'm gonna speak something. Come on. And now then the worst part about it is if the Lakers actually draft him, which, you know, you don't know where they're gonna pick one. You don't know. They got D'Angelo Russell there. He's only in his second year, so you know, just weird. I don't know. It's just weird to me, man. Like to hear that and for people to like try to defend it is not really defensible, man. Because even with his situation, you know, just remember, man, Seth Curry is Steph Curry's brother. Seth Curry went to Duke. I mean, Steph went to Davidson. So there's no way of just like my boys are gonna be this. All right, sweet, whatever. Okay, so here's the other big story that came out today. Not even a big story. It's just one of those things that's like, I don't understand. Like when we talk about this situation with like Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj, I tell my woman all the time, women ain't real friends with each other. There's no such thing as women who are just really friends. You know what I mean? Because women are too worried about about other women, like instinctively. Just be somewhere with your woman. And don't say nothing when it's happening. Just watch it happen. Watch her. If like another attractive woman comes around, or like semi-attractive, or a woman has like a bag or something, watch your woman look that woman up and down. Just ever so slightly, maybe not even be with her whole head, just with her eyes. Just do a whole scan of this woman. It's weird to me. That's why women can't be real friends. You know what I mean? Like women are friends when they're both in the same situation most of the time. Like both of them don't have a man, or both have a man, but both of them have a man, but one of their man ain't crap. Yeah, strain on the relationship immediately. You know what I mean? Immediately. So anyway, the reason I'm bringing that up is because of what happened at Baylor. I guess it happened last night at the Baylor women's game. I guess Baylor's women and their men basketball team are both pretty good. But their coach, following the game, grabbed the microphone and she said this. And if it's inaudible in some points, I have the quotes of what she said. But just check her out real quick.
If somebody is around you and they ever say, I will never send my baby to the dog, you knock them right in the face. Because these kids are older than me. I work here, my daughter went to school here, and it's the damn best school in America.
I'm just tired of hearing it. I'm tired of people talking on it on a national scale that don't know what they're talking about. If they didn't sit in those meetings and they weren't a part of the investigation, you're repeating things that you've heard. It's over. It's done. And this is a great institution, and I would send my daughter here, and I'd pay for anybody else's daughter to come here. I work here every day. I'm in the know. And I'm tired of hearing it. This is a great institution. Really? The problems we have at Baylor are no different than the problems at any other school in America. Period. Move on. Find another story to write.
Yeah, you like that, wouldn't you? You like, I don't understand how a woman, you feel me? I don't understand how a woman sits and says, keep it moving. Broads is around here getting raped and sexual. 52 in 4 years has been reported or been alleged. Now, if you just want to play like even if you split that number in half, like you're generous and say like, well, half of these broads lying, that's still 25 women on a college campus that have been ignored. That something as egregious as that has been ignored, and people try to cover it up in the name of football or basketball. A murder. And basketball was covered up by the coach. Come on, man. The best school, if that's the best school, yeah, the other schools ain't crap then. None of them. And yes, Big L. Yeah. Women are friends in different ways than men are friends. You know what I mean? Women are friends in a competitive way. And I don't mean like the way bros compete, like they go play basketball or whatever, you go lift weights with your man. Nah. Like women are in some like on some real other level type stuff. This is why a woman like this can confidently say that. This is why you have women who believe that men should make decisions on what they do with their bodies. Wait, what? How? Like, okay, if you're an old rich white man in America and you used to having power and you're like, no, abortion is bad. All right, cool. Right? And even if you think abortion is bad, I think what you also should probably think, but not to tell anybody what to think, but is that taking somebody's choice away is bad too. Yeah. As bad as you think someone, ending a pregnancy early via the abortion is bad, it should probably be equally as bad to take away somebody's rights to choose for themselves. I'm just saying, y'all talk about America and American values and all this crazy foolishness. I think that kind of fits into that same envelope. So anyway, if you guys didn't hear the beginning portion of that clip, she says, quote, her name is Kim Mulkey, by the way. Quote, if someone's around you and they ever say, I will never send my daughter to Baylor, you knock them right in the face. That sounds like some Agent Orange type stuff, because we've heard those type of things come from Agent Orange, haven't we? Yeah, these white folks they got their man also. And that's the kind of stuff where if the dude in the White House could be like, you know what, I just run up to him and grab their pussy, and then people vote, be like, don't worry about that. If that's the thing, yeah, of course, some college basketball coach is going to be on that. A dude won the election on that same type stuff. And she's like, rape? What rape? This is awesome around here. Look at me. I go here. No one's raped me. Well, I'd pay for anybody's daughter to go here. Probably wouldn't, but okay. These people have to go like the extra mile and be super hyperbolic about things. I don't believe. Go get some more people, man. She goes on to say, quote, because these kids are on this campus, I work here. My daughter went to school here, and it's the best damn school in America, end quote. Yeah. Can you see the cult, like the cultish behavior type stuff? It's like that Scientology stuff. Like you ain't do nothing wrong. Like all these chicks is lying. Like this dude, Sean Oakman, who's been indicted. The other kid that went to jail already. Excuse me. That's not a thing. These are things that didn't really happen. And then this is one I love the best. When it's like, well, everybody's doing it. All right. That can't ever be. When it comes to something like this, that can't ever be the excuse. Everyone's getting raped. So, hey, come to Baylor. You get raped as soon as you go to TCU too. Wait, what? That's weird as hell to me, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird for anybody. But then someone to just like interject their personal stuff, like my daughter goes here. Like, man, it'd be so like on the highest level of irony if her daughter was someone who was a victim of one of these things and just didn't say nothing to nobody, because statistics say that most of these occurrences don't go reported. They don't go officially reported. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that you gotta be real careful the stances you take on things. You know what I mean? Like you hear people like, what's that dude's name? Dan Quayle. Abortion is immoral. But then his daughter ends up pregnant. And then it becomes, well, we'll support whatever choice that she decides to make. Oh, it's your whole ass daughter now. So it's a choice involved. But when it was somebody else, baby girl, you want to make the choice for them. Same thing. And I don't understand that rationality within people. People who always have to interject their own personal experience into a situation to understand how dire it is. I'm saying, man, that's messed up. I mean, I got a daughter. I got sisters and my mama, too. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine. Well, what if you didn't? Would a woman being raped be any better if you didn't have those personal relationships with other women? Nah, it's bad all the way around. Like, folks, you don't have to do that. I mean, because I got a sister. So what? What if you didn't? You know what I mean? It shouldn't matter. What things that are bad are just bad. And this broad getting up in front of a crowd of people, man. Feel me? And telling people she's tired of hearing about it. How can I allow my daughter to go there? Somebody in a position of power is tired of hearing about women being assaulted by men. And that's supposed to just be okay. Yeah, people love running around talking about people, jobs, and this person need to lose their job or whatever. Like, how can she be? And well, I don't know. I guess if you listen to Homegirl from last week, what's her name, Candace somebody? She said 98% of the damn WNBA is lesbian anyway. So, but you know what, too? Let me stop. Because that don't mean that a woman can't sexually assault another woman. You saw that stuff with Brittany Griner and her old lady, Glory, whatever her damn name is. The WNBA, they portrayed it as two women fighting. The chick, Gloria, said, no, she beat on me. Ain't no one say nothing. They suspended both of them broads, which if that happened in any other circumstances, what would we be talking about? We'll be talking about how they punish the victim of domestic violence. But wait, because it's two women, it can't be the same thing. This woman says she got beat on. It wasn't no fight. Ain't nobody hollering about no damn investigation. It was just both of y'all suspended. Huh. Look, man. I guess if it don't make the Twitter, if it don't trend on Twitter, no one should care. That's cool. Speaking of caring, this is gonna take me the whole 2 hours to do the show. I didn't think it was gonna take me this long because I looked at my notes and it wasn't really nothing there. I also had this story on Tony Dorsett too. It's something that I mentioned a while ago about Tony Dorsett he's suffering from the aftermath of a long playing career in the National Football League, and he says he's been diagnosed with CTE. I don't know if that's accurate because, of course, you can only diagnose somebody truly with chronic traumatic encephalopathy post-mortem. That's the disease that a lot of these football players, boxers, hockey players, people who play contact sports are starting to realize that they're developing. And Tony Dorsett's going through it, man. I got time before I take this break. And I'll come back. I'll close the show out talking about this kid in Houston. My man Reggie, he texted me about this, man. And I don't even know, like Reggie just met me, so he don't know how I get down with this kind of stuff, man, with like the LGBT community and stuff like that. Shout out to my home girl, Caitlin Burns. I saw Caitlin Burns. She was gonna guest on this show, man. Transgender sports writer. I don't want to lie. I think though I saw on her Twitter that she's raising money to get like the whole situation done. Like, the I don't know what it's called, gender transformation or something. Anyway, you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, get all the plumbing redone. Anyway, Tony Dorsett. And I saw this right before the show started, and I was like, I got to read this, man. In 2013, I talked about it already, that he said that the doctors diagnosed him with CTE. Well, since then, it ain't been getting any better for my man. This stuff leads to like Lou Gehrig's, Parkinson's, all this kind of, it's like crazy what this thing does to people's bodies and the things that their families go through while they're going through it. If you saw the movie Concussion, like that Mike Webster situation and all that, it's real deal. He says, quote, I have good days and I have bad days. The unfortunate thing sometimes is I have more bad than good. It is what it is. That's how you know, boy. When somebody's just like, I can't do no more. Kind of like on that give up mode. When somebody be like, man, shoot, it is what it is. That's like the last words dudes say when they about to get that 25 to life bid. I mean, it is what it is. That's what Tony Dorsett is saying. It is what it is. I'm trying to maintain and handle it, end quote. He's one of the players who was involved in that lawsuit. If you guys remember, the players tried to appeal it a couple times, but the judge went ahead and settled on $900 million over the next whatever amount of years. But the way you get the money is ridiculous. You got to be like almost dead, or in a lot of cases dead, to get any of this $900 million. And the other part that benefits the NFL in this matter is that they don't have to relinquish any of the paperwork that proves that they knew these dudes were getting brain damage by playing the sport, and they lied to them about it, told them they were going to be just fine. They were going to be totally all right with it. I'm trying to get a guy named Sean Stuckey. He's a former NFL player, but he's also now an attorney working on a lot of these concussion cases with the NHL in particular. I'm trying to get him on the show. We exchanged some information, but I haven't been able to catch back up with him. But hopefully we can get him on, because this is real stuff, and people are going to continue to be fooled, and the NFL is going to be able to control the message because they've settled with this money. The settlement means that we don't have to admit any wrongdoing, but we will, hook y'all up with this money if, like I said, if you like damn near dead, basically. Like, you got to have like dementia and Alzheimer's. You got to have all these like crazy things that means like life is over, or your life actually has to be over to be a part of, to recoup any money from the settlement. And meanwhile, while that's the thing, it's also a situation where, the NFL gets to, in for lack of a better word, they get to control the truth. And guys and it's going to start happening, man. Guys who you grew up watching things are going to start going real crazy. Y'all see this kid from Detroit got caught for like the third time in 10 months, butt ass naked, trying to get up in somebody's crib. It's like, that's someone who's not right. You know what I'm saying? The police pull up and you just get naked. That's somebody who's not right. That Trey Mason situation. You ain't hearing nothing out of the NFL about this kind of stuff, but it's real. When that boy's mama said, look, man, my son, this is not my son. And I believe there's something going on with these head injuries. Like, these women in these men's lives are getting much more educated on this situation, and they starting to understand what the signs are. And the NFL is only talking about, we're going to make up a new turf that you should bounce right back from, the new helmets, new equipment, and blah, 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 tackling technique. None of it means anything. It's still going to be football. Like, they still lying to people. And that they're allowed to do that because they've settled this case. Anyway, we'll take a break. Got some stuff on Joe Mixon again. He spoke about his incident. And also, this transgender wrestler, I think it was from Houston. That's where Reggie's from, so I'm thinking it's in Houston. I haven't done a lot of reading on it, but I do have thoughts on some of the things that are going on. I always talk about, like it's really never the kids when things like this come up. It's the damn adults. You know what I mean? Adults are stupid. You know what I mean? And adults tend to make kids stupid. And so forth and so on and so on. So anyway, we'll come back. We'll wrap the show up with that and press. The rape thing. Hope I don't forget. If I do, because I didn't write it down or anything. It just happened to be on my mind talking about this Baylor situation. But anyway, I'm here, man. Spreaker.com for about another 30 minutes. Sign up for your free Spreaker account anytime. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 365. Sign up for your free Spreaker accounts and follow One Mic with Big Mike on Spreaker. That way you get an alert every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when the show goes live. Also, make sure you understand that the live interactive chat room is wide open. Also, the text line at 404-902-8104. And my live stream going on Facebook. You can comment below that and ask your questions and all those type of things. I shall return.
Well, I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So of course we all know there's lots of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. But here's the thing. This problem is entirely solvable. Seriously, we already produce more than enough healthy, nutritious food in this country to feed every single last one of those hungry kids. We just need a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is out there every day gathering surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across the country. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go.
Bustin' on the beat, ho. Come close to me. Ain't going home where you're supposed to be. Yeah. It's Monday, man. Monday here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. A rainy Monday here in the A after it was so pretty outside this weekend. This damn climate change and global warming, whatever you want to call it, man. It's a real thing, man. Anyway, man, I got about another, 25 minutes left in today's show. Appreciate you guys for joining me. Big L, Reg, my people here, Andy, Tamia. Who else checking in here on the old Facebook? Oh, I guess when you refresh it, it goes away. One girl's name was April, I think. Yeah, April and Lynn. Oh, okay, I got 2 of them open. Oh, Reggie. Oh, Reggie. We gotta get Reggie straight on the sharing of the video stream. My man, appreciate it though, brother. Appreciate it. I see you working, man. All right, where am I? Okay, so this past weekend, I mentioned Reggie text me about a situation that he asked me, did I see this situation in Houston? I think he said Houston. Yeah, it doesn't say here. The title of, Texas. So the title of this article says transgender wrestler Mac Beggs gets booed after winning state high school girls title. Now, yeah, you heard right. Mac Beggs is a transgendered boy. I think that's how he went from female to male. I think this is the proper way to go. Transgendered male, who was wrestling with the girls on the girls wrestling team and with the girls division. And he ended up being the guy he ended up being the winner. He wanted to be the winner of the state title. And as you heard in the title, he gets booed. And people are just bad. Like I'm a bad individual, right? I'm a bad human being. I really don't give a damn about a lot of things. But, you know, when it comes to just the normal treatment of someone, like I'm the type of dude, like if you run afoul to me, that's pretty much done. It's pretty much a done deal. You know what I mean? Like, there ain't really a whole lot of forgiveness in me, and I don't have a lot of those traits that a lot of people expect for normal human beings to have. But the other thing that I don't do, I don't. This whole thing, people like targeting people who have done nothing to them. You know, that's to me is like a ridiculous state of mind to be in. That mob mentality when it comes time to go after people, and especially children. In this case, this kid is a transgender kid that identifies, as male, but was born as a female. He is, of course, the first transgender athlete to win a Texas state title. And it's in Texas, too. You know, golly. That cat still running around there with big-ass cowboy hats on, all that big belt buckles, machismo, and all this kind of craziness. But anyway, after he won the title, the crowd of parents, they booed him, as though it was his fault. And, I saw the reaction. I think that's what I told Reggie. That I saw the reaction to it. I didn't read the story or read his story. I just saw the reaction to it. And I know you kind of predict it, but it doesn't make it any less ridiculous when I see it. You know what I mean? When I see grown people talking about, that's bull crap, man. He's got to, because people want to sexualize everything. That's the thing. With the bathroom stuff, people want to sexualize anything. Yeah, man, somebody's going to put on a wig and a dress and go in there and start raping little girls. Yep. And they were only waiting for a law to tell them it was okay. Right? Like some sick bastard was like, I can't wait till they pass this law where I can start creeping up in bathrooms and molesting little girls. Get your ass out of here with that ridiculousness, man. You know what I mean? Like, what are you paying attention to when you're in the bathroom? I'm handling my business, I'm washing my hands, and I'm out the door. I don't know who's in there with me. This is why I'm so rude to people that try to have conversation with me. Don't do that. Like, this is not the place. We're not here to socialize, dude. I'm here to evacuate waste from my body. Don't speak to me while I have my meat in my hands. That's where I draw the line. Don't do that. And I'm very rude about that too. You know what I mean? And you try to have a conversation with me. Don't even say hey to me. Don't greet me or anything. There ain't no things. So anyway, moving on with the story. Mac has been taking testosterone treatment since 2015. He lobbied though to compete with the boys division because he understood, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. I want to compete with the boys. But that petition was rejected because the league, the adults, the law within the league says that athletes can only compete against people with the same gender designation on their birth certificate, which to me is antiquated because we live in wake up everybody. We live in a different age now. Things with these kids, these millennials or whatever you call them, things aren't as linear as they were at one point in our lives. There are a lot of more gray areas where boys who identify as girls and girls who identify as boys and people born this way. And then there is also, and this is why I always challenge people to do some, find out about people. Because there's actually, now scientists are looking into, the brain makeup of the person who says, I was born in the wrong body. And for people who are super religious and stupid about their antiquated religion, understand this. There's a documentary called "The 9 Months That Made Us" it's on PBS. You can probably get it on demand. And what the documentary talks about is the stuff that happens within the womb of a woman while the baby is being formed, while sex is being assigned, and things of that nature. And for those people who don't believe that someone can say, "I was born in the wrong body," there is a Central American village where 1 out of every 9 children are born. Male children are born without a penis. And you say, wow, that just sounds like a birth defect. It kind of is. What happens in the womb is that they don't get, there is a point where you either get a jolt of estrogen or a jolt of testosterone. And that dictates what sex physically you're going to be when you come out of the womb. Well, these kids, for some reason, don't get that. So a lot of times, these kids are raised as girls. But then guess what? There is another time in a young man's life where you do get another jolt of testosterone. It's called puberty. And on some real weird stuff, like imagine this, 12 years old is when you get introduced to your penis. So now you can go from Juanita to Jorge in like a blink of an eye. You go from being raised as a little girl to now you're physically in your physical body of a boy. You know, your voice start getting deeper, facial hair, all that stuff. Because of what you didn't get in the womb, you end up getting it at the next scheduled time in your life, 12, 13 years old for a boy. And one of the illest things that I saw was that the teacher at the school that they were in, the little kids, she just brought all of them together. And she was like, look, it's going to be hell to pay. If y'all don't recognize that this is now, Jose now, this is no longer Juanita. This is Jose. Y'all give him any grief, I'm going to be on your ass, essentially, is what she was saying, with the translators or whatever. And I think that's important for the adults to be the adults in those type of situations, But what happens so many times is, and especially like in this situation, the adults freak out. The adults are booing and whatever, as though the kid did something wrong. That's just unacceptable. There's a lawsuit going on, too. 2 wrestlers that aren't even in the kid's weight class are asking to suspend him for use of steroids because, of course, like I said, the kid has been taking testosterone to be able to truly get the chemical makeup of a man, the internal makeup of a male. And there's people who just have so much vitriol in them, man. And the thing that people don't want to even realize, because again, unless someone says to themselves, well, my brother's gay. People do it all the time. Like, I had nothing against gay people. I got a cousin that's gay. It shouldn't matter. Because the rate at which these kids, man, these transgender kids are committing suicide is ridiculous, man. And if you have a human bone in your body, you don't want that for anybody. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be you or your son or any of those things. You shouldn't want any parent to have to go through a situation where their kid feels like the only way out is for me to leave this earth completely and kill myself. Like, that's the bigger picture than all this. You know what I mean? That whole stuff about it's a sickness, it's a phase and all. Well, okay, cool. Believe that all you want to, but you don't have to degrade another human being because that human being doesn't walk the same path as you walk. And so when I see this story, man, that like 40-year-old Mike thinks this way. 17-year-old Mike, not so much. 20-year-old Mike, not so much. This is why I would hope that other people, as you age and as you keep your eyes open to what the world is doing around you, you can say, all right, the world is changing. Maybe I should change some too. You know what I'm saying? Like, supporting someone that's in a homosexual marriage or relationship, that doesn't mean you're gay. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing that we're now like someone says I was accused of being gay. It's not a crime. You know what I mean? If someone thought you were gay, all right, whatever. Or if someone use it as an insult, you got to be like, yeah, how is that an insult? And at some point, man, like the adults got to come to play. You know what I mean? Like leave the children to do what children do, but then the adults They got to show up and rock the situation. And it's going to be a lot harder now because, like you said, your man Agent Orange is on the case. You know what I mean? He already struck down the one thing Obama did for the transgender folks. Like, look, man, it's a bathroom. Go when you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Your man Trump is like, F that. Obama put his name on it, so I'm going to definitely go the other way. All right, B. Whatever. Lying-ass dude. Well, that's the most lying-ass dude in the world, probably, man. Golly. Yeah. Reggie saying the same thing in the chat room about the kid that he wanted to wrestle with the boys, but he wasn't allowed to. Like, what he supposed to do? Just not do nothing? You know what I mean? Like, they're not supposed to have no rights, I guess. Joe Mixon, last thing before I get out of here today. So Joe Mixon, we mentioned Joe Mixon on Friday. I mentioned him not being invited to the combine. So what he did, I guess his agent now is like, okay, we gotta go on a PR tour. We gotta go on this, reclamation type of situation. And his first stop, I guess, was Pro Football Talk Live with Mike Florio. And the homie, like, he's doing all that stuff that white people need him to do, but I don't think they care anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these people who, you got to show contrition and be sorry. Get on your knees, boy. All right, man. Like, how long? Somebody need to tell me that. How long? Because, again, like, you talking to the dude that I'm at the point in my life now where I can equate anything to, like Draymond calls it, the slave mentality. Because that's all this is, man. This is wanting this kid to wear that forever. And not being able to have anything good happen in his life because of one moment in time in a coffee shop. But you won't say it, though. You won't just say that he shouldn't have anything. He should be homeless and poor and destitute on the street without anyone giving a care about his life in general. See, they won't say that, but they'll act that way. Like it's just like those stripes on the backs of those slaves. That was done on purpose. So that they would wear those. They would brand them with R's if they try to run away, maim them, cut their foot off or whatever. So you had to live with what was perceived as an infraction forever and ever and ever. I give you Joe Mixon. He ain't supposed to have nothing. I don't know this kid. I don't know that I care to either. You know what I mean? But I'll stick to what I've said this whole time. In any situation, not just his, any situation, you can't anticipate what somebody's reaction is going to be to your action. And that's what that girl, who was it I heard today? I think it was Mike Florio, said, why didn't this dude, he's bigger, faster, and stronger, so why didn't he block her blow and then excuse himself? Because people are afraid. People are afraid to say that she shouldn't have put her hands on that dude. Like, I don't give a damn what side of this issue you stand on, and people will say that I'm victim blaming and I'm saying it's all right. Okay, fine, whatever. You know what I mean? If you want to put those words in my mouth, fine. What I am saying is this: her reaction facilitated a reaction that she didn't anticipate. Not that she should have, but I'll still contend this, and I'll still put this question to anyone to answer it differently than I have. Do you think that his reaction, him punching her, happens in that situation without her putting her hands on him? I don't think any rational person answers that question with anything, but no, it doesn't. It's an argument. They possibly move on, but her action facilitated maybe an overreaction. In a lot of people's estimation, an overreaction, but yet a reaction that she wasn't ready for. She felt as though because she had ovaries and a vagina that she could put her hands on this dude, and that's the socially accepted thing. If you're a woman, you can hit a guy because look, he's bigger and stronger than you. I'm of this mindset. When people say that kind of stuff, you know who else knew that dude was bigger and stronger than her? The person who hit him. Like, if you don't want those kind of problems, you can be an adult too. Keep your damn hands to yourself. Everybody. Just keep your damn hands to yourself because you don't know how somebody's going to react. But now we're in a situation here where this kid is going to have to live with this, man. He's going to have to answer everybody's questions. The NFL's kind of bailing him out. He don't have to go to the combine. But inevitably, it's going to continue to come up, and people, in this age of the pile on, and everybody's got to pile on and make things extremely bad things that are already bad, make them extremely bad. You know, I can't believe he's a monster. All right, I don't know about that. You know, maybe, but I'm not entirely sure that's necessarily where I would go with the characterization. You know what I mean? Not knowing the kid, not having any type of dealings with him. Okay, here's the final thing for you guys. Last thing before I get out of here. I was telling Reggie about this, that this has been on my mind for a while, and I didn't put it on my notes for whatever reason. But there is this thing, and the brothers need to hear this, that's being put on books. You guys can Google this. It's called rape by deception. Here's how it came across me, how I discovered it, I guess, if you want to say it that way. I was watching one of those, Dateline or whatever, 48 hours type shows, whatever. And it happened to be about this white girl who was getting seduced by this cat online. And then they end up meeting up, and he's doing the whole thing online, I guess, that people do, lying, catfishing her ass or whatever. It was really him. It was actually him, but he started talking about he was a damn a secret service person for England or whatever, working like a spy or something, giving her all these tall tales about how he's got a fake wife somewhere else, which was really ended up being his real wife. He had a bunch of them, kids every goddamn where. And anyway, she ends up wearing like a wire and catching this dude up, and they catch him for embezzlement and fraud or whatever the charges were against him. But then she said she wanted him tried for rape, because she saw in a few states in this country, there's a such thing as rape by deception, which means that if she wouldn't have gave up the ass, knowing his true story, he actually deceived her into being able to get some from her. And I was like, hold on, bride. Like, I'm from it. That, like, in that case, you know what I mean? Like, how many people listening to my voice right now, in that case, haven't been a victim of this particular type of rape or an assailant? Like, bruh, ain't that part of what you lie sometimes? You lie to get draws, especially when it ain't gonna be no situation. You know what I'm saying? You kind of do what you gotta do to close that deal. But now apparently, because we live in 2017 and everything has to be someone else's fault. Like, she just couldn't have been smart enough to figure out this raunchy ass dude was nobody's secret service agent and all that. She giving him money for background checks and all this kind of ridiculousness. Like, come on, at some point, it ain't always a con. When you give somebody your money, sometimes it's on you. The get rich fast people, Bernie Madoff in jail right now. Why? Because a bunch of rich people got took by this dude, and that can't happen. That can't happen. Yeah, a bunch of poor people, which it always happens, right? The government do it to poor people all the time. Y'all around here dancing on chairs when you get your tax return back. You know why? Because no one has told you what that is. You're not getting, like, the government is not giving you money. That was already your money that they took too much of because you filled out your W-4s or whatever wrong. And now you got a couple grand in your pockets. Like, yep, I came up. No, what you essentially did was you gave the government an interest-free loan for an entire year. When if you just make a couple of adjustments to your tax paperwork at your job and you develop some damn financial discipline, what you can do is take that extra money and put it into an interest-bearing account and have your money make you money. But nah. That sounds like too much work. I just let them keep taking me for my loot every year, and then hopefully I fill the paperwork right, or when I go down to the H&R Block place, they do the work right and actually get me the amount of money I'm supposed to get back. Yeah, it's all good. You're getting taken from, man, at every turn. But it's not a crime because you're not rich and white. Rich and white people, you let them holler out somebody's fraud. It's a fraud, pyramid scheme, Ponzi scheme, all this kind of craziness. And the feds come running to save them. Sure, it can't always be that. Like, this woman can't just like holler out, he raped me. No, you gave him the ass consensually. Nah, because you was too damn, you was drowning in penis and couldn't think correctly enough to say, wait a minute, this dude's a spy? And just have that at front of mind. Now it's got to be like, this dude got to go to jail for rape. Come on, man. That's petty stuff. You know what I mean? Because that's that stink that you can't wash that off of you when somebody put it on you. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody start hollering out rape. Yeah, it's. I mean, you carry a certain stigma with you when you get around people when they know your past. If they don't know your past, I should say, just hearing that word. Oh yeah, what'd you go to jail for? Well, a little bit of racketeering, a little bit of fraud and rape. Wait, what? Yeah, you just can't shake it, man. So, bruhs, just take this as a ghetto public service announcement from your boy Big Mike right here on the One Mike with Big Mike show, and understand that if the woman is petty enough and realizes that she was your side chick all along, never your main. Yep, she can put a charge on your black ass. A rape charge too, and I don't mean to laugh at that's such an inappropriate place to laugh, but so true. Yeah, man, that's why I'm glad, dude. I'm with the same bride every night. So I leave it to you young cats, man. Y'all got a whole different outlook on life. Y'all jumping in people's DMs and talk about I hit a raw and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, we had this little thing called AIDS back in the 80s. This little thing. Magic got y'all food. Yeah, that survivor's life ain't for everybody. Last thing before I go, I appreciate you guys hanging out and joining me. Reggie, man, appreciate you, dog. My man, Antonio Brown. I haven't got all the details yet, but the Steelers, they put the tag on Le'Veon. Smart. Running back, running backs are like leases. You just gotta lease him like on some year-to-year type stuff until he break down like Adrian Peterson and just get rid of his ass. But Antonio Brown, highest from what they're estimating is gonna be the highest paid wide receiver in the league now. He still had a year left on his deal. He wasn't set to become a free agent, but he wanted to re-up last year with 2 years left, and the Roonies just don't do business like that. So they waited till now, to this offseason, and it's something like $17 million a year prorate, or over the life of the deal. Of course, it's an NFL contract, so the devil's always in the details, the guaranteed money, the offset stuff for bonuses, roster bonuses, and workout bonuses, and things of that nature. So I'm sure the details, if they're not already out, haven't come out while I was doing the show. They'll be out here in a quick second. But as far as I go, let me hit the music, because that's going to do it for the kid. One Mike with Big Mike show, 1 down, 2 to go for the week. Maybe 2. There's some things I got to start taking care of, and I might have to take a day to take care of it. I'll let you guys know, though. Try to get another voice on the show for Wednesday. And if I do one on Friday for Friday too, man, so that you guys don't have to just deal with my ass the whole 2 hours. But I appreciate you doing it. Don't forget, the show is available on demand. If you missed any portion of it or any previous show, please make sure you share it with all your friends. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those things. You can get the show on demand on Spreaker, Spreaker. Spreaker also has an app, the TuneIn app, OneMikeWithBigMike.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And make sure you still check out the hashtag Put It On The Poll questions brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com, at One Mike with Big Mike on Twitter. Also like the Twitter and follow me on Twitter, and follow the Instagram, and like the Facebook page, One Mike with Big Mike. Until hump day, you guys be safe, enjoy yourselves, and I'll holler at you.